What's up, everyone, and welcome to Clear Talk. So, in this video, we'll be talking about DNC Night 3. I'm kind of giving you a recap of what I thought about it, the different speakers and stuff like that. And yeah, pretty much that's pretty much what we're going to do here. So, thank you very much. And if you can like this content and stuff, please consider subscribing, like, share, all that good stuff. And because it helps. It helps more than you think, more than you know. I'm trying to help build this community and stuff so that we could have more conversation, more talk, and all that good stuff, and more clear talk. So, thank you very much again, and let's get to it. So, night three was a pretty good night actually. I think the momentum is continued. I would say that it probably even uh, grew a little bit. Um, the several different speakers. The majority of the night, well, the whole theme, suppose I guess, was centered around freedom, which is basically the mantra for Kamala's campaign, anyways. And so the first half, or maybe more than really the first half, was centered around Kamala's, still, and then also a lot of it was they were hitting out real hard on the Project 2025 stuff. They had two, which they've done little portions of it kind of every night. I know night two they did. Last night they had two different sections where they brought up Project 2025 and pointing out things within it, and going along with and really kind of trying to make that contrast between what Kamala plans to do and what the uh, Republican Party via Trump wants to do. Based on the Project 25 documents. And although, I mean, the first time it was done pretty well. When Keenan came out there the second time, that one was almost pointless. It was a little cringy, and if I'm being honest, and didn't go off very well. It didn't really make sense. I think they should have completely cut that out. That was I don't know why that it was even that was probably in my point. Like one thing that stood out to me that was just a little overboard, and just or not even really overboard. It was very underwhelming, actually, the way they tried to do it. So it didn't seem like it was well planned out at all, and just didn't make sense. Uh, but yeah, they were pretty much on the 2025 thing through that section, and they were also, really trying to keep the thing about Kamala, and more introducing her more. And then the second half pretty much was, or the tail end was, centered around Walz, because he was the end speaker. So they were trying they kind of flip lanes, and started uh, building up to him coming out. But like I said, the first part, you had some pretty big speakers, and then they spaced them out a little bit throughout the night, a little bit differently than they've done the previous nights, where they kind of had them all back to back. You had former President Bill Clinton come out there and did his little speech, which was, pretty good. Man, has Clinton gotten old? Um, and you can tell, although he, had his little joke that he was still younger than Trump, whatever, by like a year. I would argue that he didn't look like he was in as good a shape, though. He looks like, cognitively he's still with it. It was Sheen, but physically you can tell he's getting old. Um, but he, like I said, he had his little Bill Clinton esque humor, it was a decent speech. It was a little long winded. He has moments uh, where you wish you would just hurry it up. Um, he has a he has a hard time hitting his punchlines in his speeches, uh, but not like Biden. Biden just doesn't really hit them at all. At least he can hit them. Uh, and it was some pretty decent moments where he hit Trump a little bit and stuff, but it wasn't too bad. And then fast forward a little bit further in, you had Oprah Winfrey come out. That was probably one of the better speeches of the night. She did an absolutely great job of talking about Kamala and uh, it was just a really good speech. Oprah, of course, is well respected across the country for a lot of people. I've never had any real beef with Oprah myself. I think she's a pretty good person overall. Uh, and so I gave her full respect in watching her speech. And she did it. She really she had that kind of Michelle moment that happened night two. It was just a really good speech and tied in very well. And that was pretty much where the cutoff for Kamala for the night was, and the way it kind of worked out. She was the big final like thing for the night in support for Kamala, or like in that lane, the mood or whatever theme for that part of the night around Kamala. And then from there did its sort of flip towards the Tim Walz thing at the end, where they were kind of uh, giving him some backstory and stuff like that. Had his former students, had a video with his former like students and stuff like that. The former football team that he coached that took well, had a state championship. Um, had a video about all of that, talking about him and things that he did with the school and how he taught and how well received he was by the whole alumni or whatever. And um even the one the guy that what had came out as gay, and they had started the I can't remember what it's called now, but started like um a group thing that he became like the teacher uh uh guidance sort of counselor, I guess, somewhat of that group. um so it was a good. And then they and even the team come out and all that kind of stuff. Uh, moved into Pete Buttigieg came out there, and oh my gosh, it was uh he did his infamous uh like doing his infamous impression of Obama. I mean, everybody talks about how it talked about how he had gotten real Obama like as he speaks. His cadence and his rhythm and stuff like that. And then people here lately have been talking about how with his appearances on like different news places and stuff, that he seemed to have kind of lost that. They found his own kind of way, and he's speaking differently or whatnot in these interviews, and not really doing the kind of Obama like, um, uh, thing. But last night he was right back to it. He sounded exactly like Obama. It was, I mean, just it was just, or his best impression, not exactly, but his best impression. It was actually kind of annoying. um, but whatever. Uh, and then of course, we end in the night with Tim getting up there and uh, did his kind of rally speech. Especially the first part of it was basically his just verbatim rally speech. But then he kind of added and tacked on a little bit extra at the end. That was something I haven't quite heard of him. He did an overall good job in, rousing up the crowd and the momentum at the end of the night. Speaking of all his different stuff and then tying it all in at the end around, you know, voting for Kamala and stuff. It did a good job. It was he has this just likable way about him, how he speaks. He just seems comfortable, and of course, it was a very, um, I guess, uh, emotional moment when he speaks about his family, how much he loves them, and his son, who I understand is mute, I guess. Uh, and so he got very expressive. And I think it touched a lot of people. How he was crying and just seemed overjoyed, of seeing his father up there on the stage. Um, and so that got a lot of people emotional. Um, uh, it was a good moment, and yeah, it's pretty good night overall. Tonight, I don't know what all is in the store. I know Kamala's supposed to, I assume ends the night. She'll be the one to kind of end the night out, which would end out the convention. And I did have a couple of things though that I wanted to point out. There was a young author and activist that gave a read like a poem out. Never had heard of her before, but she did an excellent job. The poem was fantastic. I think her name was Amanda something, Gorman or something like that. Or, anyways, she did a fantastic job. That was, in my opinion, a highlight of the night. That little poem that or poem like speech that she gave. And then after her came a video called American Family. It's like a short film that was made, and I actually wanted to show. I was very impressed with this film, and I wanted to show it. So I've got it queued up from the convention video because I couldn't find it anywhere else. Hopefully this doesn't. I don't know. Hopefully this doesn't get anything messed up. But I'm going, or doesn't mess up me like actually sharing this. But we're going to watch it real quick because I think it's very important video.
There's a word I heard. The word is called freedom. Can you tell me what it means?
Interesting. Let me think about that for a second.
The spirit of freedom.
For me? Oh, yeah.
Freedom, to me, means choice.
The ability to laugh with friends.
Be who you want to be. Go where you want to go.
Living your life day to day. Having new chapters in that life.
I believe in having your own words and being able to do what you want to.
The freedom to raise our family in healthy communities.
The idea that I can turn to my partner, my husband, and say I love you with every being of my soul.
Being able to start a family when I want to, being able to, support the missions that I want to go to the church that I want to.
Not everyone has the same opportunities, but the United States is, of anywhere I've ever been, just one place where you can accomplish more.
The big, fantastic thing about America is that it is the land of opportunity. I know it sounds trite, but it's the truth.
I grew up with a single mom, and she really
imbued in me these qualities that you just really have to care about your neighbors and your family and your friends.
I feel like the American dream is having opportunities, having opportunity to go to college if you want to, having opportunity to get any job you can, no matter who you are or where you come from.
The American dream is about having the ability to make choices about your medical care and do whatever you want to do with your life without anybody telling you if it's good or not.
We are in an incredible moment in history. We've seen women stripped of their most fundamental right to autonomy over their bodies.
The freedom to make choices about your body, your life, your career should be entirely in your control.
But I have found that good people want to do good things.
That you find a way to move forward under ugly and scary circumstances.
The work that lies ahead is to make America live up to its highest ideals. And, we're proud to go to work.
The work to build a better future really depends on all of us coming together.
We have to bring back that respect for everyone.
I don't think we're as divided as we seem.
Let's come together as one big nation.
I feel like we are on the verge of something very amazing in this country.
It makes me want to fight for our children and future generations to ensure they have just as many, if not more, freedoms than we had.
I believe in a future where my mom can feel safe no matter where she is in the country.
A future that is filled with a healthy and vibrant planet, where families are not separated by fences or jail bars.
A future in which we all get what we need.
I want to see that for people who are younger than me.
Hopefully the kids I teach can chase their dreams and believe in what they want to be.
I want a future for him that he knows that he's covered and protected.
Everyone should think about what we can leave to the next generation. It's our responsibility. It's what we have to do.
My name's Tyler.
My name's Yvette.
And we believe in love.
I'm Alex.
I'm Kiara.
My name is Steven. My name is Charlie. I'm a proud 7th generation Texan.
I am from Waterford, Michigan, just north of Detroit.
I'm from East Tennessee.
And we believe in the American dream.
We believe in a better world for our child, and we believe in this country.
My name is Karen, and I believe in justice.
My name is Nancy.
My name is Taro.
My name is Jennings.
My name is Dana,
My name is Todd.
and we believe in freedom.
My name is Gina, and I believe in freedom.
My name is Pat, and I believe in the freedom to work together.
All right, so that was that one. That video particularly was probably the one video of this entire convention that really hit home to me. And it's the kind of message that is really been brilliant for this campaign. The taking on the freedom mantra and I mean, I don't see how it's just the best thing that they could have done. It speaks to everybody. That's what this nation was built on. It's what this nation is supposed to be about: the freedom to live. And be who you are, how you want to be, and without the worry of somebody trying to restrict you, whether it's beliefs or education or your what you strive to be as a human being, in your life, career wise, um, or whatever. Like it's just just the ability to be free. You know, be who you want, be with who you want, uh, read what you want. I mean, it's everything. Um, uh, and it's just so much of a better um so much of a better message than the Republican Party has been placing for years, what Trump has been trying to place for years with the whole "Make America Great Again." Like when especially here where all that they've been doing lately is just constantly complaining and harping on, like, the most pettiest stuff. Um and they're just and also, of course, all the policies that, especially, and even taking away Project 2025, all the things that Republican states have been doing without the Project 2025, um with abortion and education and uh LGBTQ stuff and the trans thing, which is seems to be even bigger for them than the LGBTQ. I mean, it's it's like it's all has this underlying hatred. Um, or and even if you don't want to, if those who are don't want to argue that it's hatred, at the very least it's control, where you're trying to control people's freedoms. And it's a complete contrast to the argument that, or the message rather, that we have here in the DNC convention. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my issues with the Democratic Party. There's a lot of issues to have with it. There's a lot of elitism and money and power that still needs to be addressed. Don't get me wrong. But that's not any different from the RNC either. If anything, in the RNC, it's even worse. But at the core messaging and the core policy fundamentals for how each party wants to move forward, there's a clear difference. That's the reason why one of the other messaging coming from the party is from Kamala in her campaign is we're not going back. And because that's the way it feels to most Americans when they look at what's happening with the Republican Party and look at what policies they are trying to push and implement, because it's all policies and stuff that make us go backwards and erases the progression that we have had as a nation over the last, few decades. So this is very, to me, huge, and was a good high point so far for me in this convention. And I like that messaging. And that's something at the core that I would like to see the entirety of the Democratic Party envelop. At some point, clearly clearly that is not the case all the way across, but That's something that I would like to see eventually, and hopefully, even if not with Kamala, with the idea, the reason why I'm behind with Walz more than I even am with Kamala is I feel like he is actually somebody that could help with that and sort of hold whoever Kamala has as her administration, if she got, became president, would help to somewhat hold, them to that. I hope. But anyways, so yeah, this was a really good video in my opinion, and and just more unifying type of messaging. And while yes, they have hit Trump over and over and over again throughout every night, everybody's had their hits on him, and in their whole campaign. But everything that they're saying is true. I mean, they're just repeating stuff that he has said himself over and over and over again, or he's complained about over and over and over again, or he has pitched a fit, or whatever. I mean, it's they're not really saying anything that he hasn't said himself. Although from reports, that's what he's complaining about. It's acting like they're just doing personal attacks on him, and he tries to be nice to people. He is like the personal attack king. I don't like the continued projection from him and almost the entire Republican Party is just bonkers at this point. But so yeah, this was like I said, this was a high point for me in last night. Well, really over the whole convention. I thought that was a very well done film, and along with the previous, like I said, the previous girl who did her poem, writer or whatever, an activist who did her poem. So, but this, unfortunately, did not. So far, the DNC unfortunately has not gone with its own like issues, controversies to some degree, with people who wanted to support it and are finding themselves unable to. So also last night, what happened? We had some parents, a father and mother of a hostage. Their son is a hostage in Gaza, and and so they got up there and they spoke on, what happened, how he became, where he was, how he became a hostage. Take this off. And spoke on the importance of trying to get the hostages back, them wanting to work towards that. And of course, they also said that Kamala and Biden have been trying their hardest to do so. Which is a little annoying because for me personally, it's because it almost felt like they were gaslighting themselves in that comment, because they have not done everything they could. There's so many other things that could have been done at this point to make sure the hostages come back, and they could have been done. The hostages could have been had back by now. So for them to support or them to claim the idea that they have been doing their best to have hostages come back home and to get a ceasefire, that is absolutely just a little ridiculous. But they spoke, and they even spoke on the fact that, like I said, of having a ceasefire and because of innocent Palestinians being hurt. So they gave respect to Palestinians as well as the fact that their son is a hostage and they would like to see him home. And so the DNC and the convention, coordinators and whatnot, allowed for them to come speak, gave them permission, allowed them to, and gave them a slot to come speak. But the DNC convention and everything was asked by Palestinian supporters to also have a speaking time at this convention, and they were denied. We have a thing here. Muslim Women for Harris disbands, saying it can no longer support her. So it's after, I'm assuming this was kind of after where she had her first like major rally with Walz. And previous to that, which we also had, the protesters there that she kind of reprimanded a little bit, kind of gave her a little, kind of snapped at, although she changed her rhetoric in the following rally that she had some protesters at. She kind of changed the way she addressed it in a little bit more positive way. But she, in that particular one, she gave a little, well, I don't guess it was that one, but it was one after that first rally. But she gave a little, she gave her little I and I'm speaking thing. And before that rally, it was the rally in, I think Wisconsin. It's either Wisconsin or Michigan. I think it was Michigan. Michigan, and she had spoke to the uncommitted group, for Michigan, trying to hear them out and whatnot, and it was reported that it was a good meeting, and I can only assume that because of that type of a meeting that happened and whatnot, I guess a group called the Muslim Woman for Harris kind of come together. They were like supporting her. Because they felt like she was actually going to work towards addressing this issue. But after a Palestinian was denied access to speak at the convention, they are saying they can no longer support her. So a group called Muslim Women for Harris Walz is disbanding after an uncommitted national movement said it was told a Palestinian American speaker couldn't address the Democratic National Convention. Uncommitted delegates began a sit-in outside the United Center in Chicago on Wednesday night after being informed that their request for a speaking slot had been denied. Abbas Alaway, I think it's Alaway, a delegate from Michigan and co-founder of the United National Movement, told reporters that he received a call from a convention official on Wednesday who said, Abbas, the answer is no. The movement emerged during Democratic primary contest when those angry over the Biden administration's backing of Israel's war in Gaza were encouraged to deny the president their support by voting uncommitted, which we know that. They were calling for Vice President Harris, who is the leading Democratic ticket after Biden dropped out, to endorse an arms embargo to Israel and back a permanent ceasefire. Muslim Women for Harris Walz said on social media that it could not continue its efforts to elect Harris and her running mate Walz after the decision to deny a Palestinian American speaker time on the convention's main stage. We cannot, in good conscience, continue Muslim Women's for Harris Walz in light of this new information from the uncommitted movement that Vice President Harris's team declined their request to have a Palestinian American speaker take on the stage on the DNC. And this was posted to Instagram. This is the post. And in here, it was stating the family of an Israeli hostage that was on the stage tonight was shown more empathy towards Palestinian Americans and Palestinians than our candidate or the DNC has. This is a terrible messaging to send Democrats. Palestinians have the right to speak about Palestine. We pray that DNC and Vice President Harris's team makes the right decision before this convention is over for the sake of each of us. The group said that on an Israeli hostage has shown, we already read that. John Pollan and Rachel Goldberg, the parents. Those are the parents of the hostage. Hirsch, Goldberg, Pollan, spoke at the convention on Wednesday and called for ceasefire deals that bring home the hostages and ends the suffering of innocent people in Gaza. That's what they said, which we just spoke about. Newsweek has contacted Muslim Women's for Harris Walz for comment via social media. The Harris campaign and convention organizers were contacted via email outside of business hours. A humanitarian catastrophe, blah, 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 blah. We all know about that. Pro-Palestinian protesters have been marching in Chicago every day of the convention. They have been continuing that. A forum to discuss the plight of Palestinians in Gaza took place on the convention on Monday, but the discussion allowing the parents to speak on the main stage Wednesday night while excluding the Palestinian voice prompted accusations of double standard. We have Representative Rashida Tlaib at DNC. Why are you saying that Israeli children are more valuable than Palestinian children? Where is our shared humanity? Which is what she posted on X. She is, of course, being the only Palestinian American in Congress. Stop it. Erasing Palestinians. We exist. We deserve to be heard. In a statement on Wednesday, the uncommitted movement said it supported the decision to allow the parents to speak on stage, but urged the party to reject a hierarchy of human value by ensuring Palestinian voices are heard on the main stage. The statement said excluding a Palestinian speaker betrays the party's commitment and our platform to valuing Israelis and Palestinian lives equally. Harris must unite this party with a vision that fights for everyone, including Palestinians. The difficulty in approving even a single Palestinian speaker among the dozens of speakers on the convention stage sends a terrible messaging to our anti-war voters, suggesting they aren't truly included in this party. It also notes that Representative AOC also joined the calls to allow a Palestinian voice to speak at the convention. Just as we must honor the humanity of hostages, so too must we center the humanity of the 40,000 Palestinians killed under Israeli bombardment. To deny this story is to participate in dehumanization of Palestinians. The at DNC must change course and affirm our shared humanity. And this is big. This is something that I think is a huge misstep by Kamala and her staff, the convention coordinators, not allowing or denying, sure, that probably will say we just had a full, we couldn't feel the time, whatever the case. I mean, quite frankly, you could have, like I said, I've already made the comment that the whole, Project 2025 like segment with Keenan was just ridiculous. That could have been erased, and you could have allowed for Palestinian representative from the uncommitted national movement to speak, and be heard. You've made this comment, that they in your rallies since that kind of harsh one, that they deserve to be heard. Well, if they deserve to be heard, then you should allow them to speak at the convention, straight up. So this is a major misstep in my opinion, and does give a bad look for those who are anti-war or pro-Palestinian, or just just want this the atrocities going on in Gaza to end. Um, Makes it harder for them to vote. And I mean, these are the voters that you need. You talk about speaking to everybody. That's been your whole mantra this entire convention, is that you speak for everybody, and that you are the president candidate for everybody. Well, guess what? Everybody also includes Palestinians, Palestinian Americans, and people who support them. So this is a big misstep, and I like I said, as much as I have liked certain things that I've seen over the convention, and certain speeches and policy, addressing policies and stuff that I would like to see change and stuff domestically and whatnot. I'm also going to point out this missteps, and this is a major misstep. They have one more night tonight, which has already started at the time that I'm filming this. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if this was made a big enough, and this sit down last night could have made enough of a movement and or caused enough controversy yet for them to make a sudden change. I don't know. It would be good to see it though. But I guess we will. I guess we will see it, or not see it rather, tonight. So yes, this was in my opinion a huge misstep by her and her and the convention all around. They should have allowed somebody to speak. If you're going to go to the point of allowing for a Israeli family to speak, then you should have also allowed a Palestinian. If you are harping on being a candidate for everybody, you should have. Just simple as that. Straightforward. So yeah. I will give my praises where I feel that they are due, but I also will give my critique and criticisms where I think that they are due. Because I'm not a all in, blue no matter who kind of ideology or whatever, because I'm not even a Democrat. So I will point out when they've misstepped, and this is a major misstep. This is not what you would like to see. This is one area that I want to see some of the most change happen, and this would have been a big step to ensure that at least they're listening. I mean, if you can't even take the moment to let somebody speak and listen to them, then how are we supposed to believe that you will actually make an attempt to change the situation? I mean, and that's disheartening very much. So, at the very least, I hope that they address this in some way. And if they, absolutely can't allow them to speak, or, can't get it set up to allow them to speak tonight, then maybe somehow address it in some future, like something. I don't know. I think it's, I think it's a huge misstep, and one that they might wind up regretting. But anyways, so yeah, that was pretty much DNC night 3, and what I thought about everything happening. Like I said, there was some really good speeches, and good momentum, good energy continuing, and I'm sure it will continue tonight. But And the video, that film was, like I said, a big highlight. The whole and the whole movement has a great energy and a better messaging, much better messaging for those people who are haven't decided yet, or balancing between or whether they should even vote or not. Um, it has a good messaging for them, but things like that, things like not allowing, or or just denying outright um, a Palestinian, you know, um, do not speak is just bad. It's bad. It's just bad. Look, um, especially when your messaging this whole time has been, like I said, about you being the candidate for everyone, and arguing, that the other candidate is not for everyone. Which, don't get me wrong, I agree. He's not. He's only for certain people, a very small section of people in the country. But I mean, uh, and they've been so inclusive on everything else. I mean, even around religion, they've had all kinds of different, religious leaders and stuff, giving prayer and ability to speak, to beginning and end of every night. I mean, they're it's like you're being so, you're trying to go to extremes in inclusivity around everything else, yet this is where you cross the line, or this is where you draw the line. This is who you deny. One of the biggest issues right now in the entire world going on, and you allow one but not the other. It's it's a revelation almost. I'm afraid. So I don't know. We'll see. Thank you for joining me. This video is a little bit longer than I planned or expected, but I wanted to talk through all that, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna watch tonight's, and we'll speak about tonight's tomorrow, and what I think about it after I've soaked it in, and hope you, if you liking this kind of content, let me know. Please, again, consider subscribing, like, share, all that good stuff, helping me out, joining the family, and, engaging with me. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Or just, just viewing is fine, if that's all you want to do. But thank you very much. And until next time, ClearTalk. Peace. I'm out.